Hi, this is Joe again with another video. But for this video, it's going to be different. I'm going to make this video for my Big Six Towers shareholders page. For those of you who are my subscribers and my supporters on YouTube, please ignore this video because I'm going to upload it to YouTube and then link it to Facebook because it's not easy for me to do it that way. This is probably going to be a long video and it's easier to upload to YouTube than to Facebook because there's a limit on that. So this is for my Big Six Towers Facebook discussion page, and of course recently, I have posted on the page about an incident between Mr. Howard Geary and myself, which I'm not too proud of that incident. It's let my anger get the better of me, and which happens, as you probably know, quite a lot. But what happens is after that incident, I made another post about it's sad that Mr. Geary is probably going to get re-elected to our board. That's, of course, I'm working under the premise that he's going to be running again this year because his spot is one of the 3 spots open for the Big Six Towers board election. And of course the other 2 spots I should mention before I go any further. The other 2 spots that are open is Thomas Hagerty's spot and Benjamin Rodriguez's spots. Those are the 3 spots that are open this year in 2021. I almost said 2017, but 2021. And we'll see what happens. Of course, we can't predict who else is going to run for the board, and also you can't predict that all 3 guys who are up for re-election this year are going to be running again. It's no guarantee of anything, but I do think that there is a guarantee that Howard Geary is probably going to be running again. I can't say about the other 2 guys. I really can't say if Thomas Hagerty or Benjamin Rodriguez are not going to run. I'm not going to say that or guarantee that both of them are going to run. I'm not sure. I haven't spoken to either one of them about it. So, Thomas Hagerty and I, we don't really talk to each other at all, really. I mean, if at all. I mean, it's not like my relationship with Howard, where we hate each other's guts. That's not the reason. It's that we're not that friendly to each other. I mean, that's all. I mean, that's basically what it is. I'm not trashing Mr. Hagerty at all. Not at all. Not at all. I mean, I have voted for him in the past for the board election, so it's not a hateful thing, or it's not any kind of a grudge. It's just that we might say hi to each other, and that's about it. We don't really have any major conversations. But Benjamin Rodriguez I know for almost 30 years because he worked with my father at the New York Post, so that's how I know him. But I don't know if the 2 of them are going to be running again for re-election. I really can't speak for those 2 guys, but I can't speak for Howard either. But I pretty much, I'm sure, as soon as I'm sitting here doing this video, that Howard's going to be running again for the board election. There's no question about it. And the one thing that I can never, ever understand is why people vote for Howard Geary. And that's pretty much the subject of the post that I have written. I can never understand because people over the years, since I became a candidate for the board 4 years ago in 2017, people have always come up to me and say to me and talk to me and say that they don't think that I have the demeanor, as they say, to be a board member. Well, because I don't have the rule, like I mentioned in previous videos, which I don't want to get into here, that I don't have the world's greatest work history, which I don't, because I happen to work in the field. My tools in the field is mostly freelance, so I have to sell myself, I have to sell my photographs, I have to work 10 times harder than somebody who's working in a like an office job or something like that, or work in a restaurant, because you're really working for yourself. You're not working for anybody else. So it's harder to get my work out there or to get noticed out there. So, but that doesn't mean that I won't do or cannot do a good job on the board. I mean, it's a real silly argument or a silly excuse not to vote for me. I mean, people are trying to make. I know that other shareholders are making excuses for the reason why they don't vote for me. In the 4 years I ran for the board, I reached my peak. The second year I ran, I only received about 165 votes, and that's including, of course, my own vote. It's 165 votes. But everybody else, I mean, since then, since 2018 through 2018, 2019, and 2020 elections, everybody, I'm the only candidate that was on the ballot for those 3 years that has not gone at least 200 votes. I know it sounds like they're whining or complaining about it, but I'm just saying a fact. I'm the only person who didn't get at least 200 votes. And people are dumbfounded. I mean, other shareholders who have voted for me and who have supported me can't believe that I'm the only one who didn't get at least 200 votes, or at least the vote totals would be expected to be closer than that, and it just wasn't. And they can't understand why. And I said, well, the reason why is because a lot of shareholders here, especially, and have, for one reason or another, hated me. And it's really for some silly, stupid reasons. And I'm going to get into some of those, right now, and I want to get to the main thing, was talking about, how some of the reasons why some people don't vote for me is because, and so of course this is inappropriate to discuss at, I don't know what the form will be for the candidates tonight yet. I mean, did post it, and did make an original post, not official yet, but it looks like that the board is considering, I know we're going to get back to the other person in a minute, but it's considering to have a Zoom meeting, Zoom candidates night, which would totally cut down on the attendance figures. I know it's hard to judge attendance figures on online. I mean by that because a lot of people, particularly, I'm not picking on any way, state or form, any way at all. But the elderly people don't know how, unfortunately, don't know how to work a computer, don't know what Zoom is, don't know how to work the internet, don't know how to work a computer, unfortunately. And the older the person is, age-wise, the more hard it is for them to work a computer, so they have to have somebody with them to work a computer, and so that they could participate in the candidates nights and eventually the annual meeting in October. But so now I want to get back to the point with myself. The reason why people won't vote for me is that I know that or I've heard, I haven't seen anything. I don't know how true it is, that Kevin Doyle has been trashing me all over on his personal page, his Big Six community page, which he has blocked me from. I know how many people he blocked me from, who he blocked from his page, but I know I'm one of them. Probably for obvious reasons, because I'm always complaining about what he's doing on his page, and also how he's always trashing my page. Because don't forget, folks, I was there first, or this page was there first. Well, technically, the Alan Rabinowitz page, he was there first, but the problem is, Alan's page Alan is allowing people to trash me on his page. And what's sad is, Alan banned me from his page as well. Alan hasn't even lived here for 40 years. At least 40 years. At least they've been living here for almost 50 years in Big Six Town. It's going to be 49 years in October. And too much before 49 years they've been living in Big Six Towers. Alright? There's plenty of experience in Big Six Towers for you to consider. I mean, I have more experience living here than all the board members combined except for one. Now, one board member, except for Jerry Lamani, has lived here longer than I have. Not one of them. And all of them got elected and got at least 200 votes. And my vote total has gone down in the last two elections. In 2019 and 2020, my vote total has gone down. In the last election, or 2020 election, I got only 112 votes. That's that's practically in the Dorothy Comiskey territory. You get a vote total that low, when everybody else has got at least 100 votes, at least 90 to 100 votes more than I had. It's sad. It's a sad state. Even one former board member has told me that he thought that was pathetic. That I'm the only one who can get a decent vote total. But the other issue, and Kevin, I should say, he's been trashing me over his page, probably trashing me all over Alan's page as well. And Alan, the piece of garbage. If you're talking about somebody who doesn't have a temperament to run a Facebook page, Alan Rabinovich is it. Because if you post more than 4 or 5 pictures on his page, he's going to throw you off. I mean, he's going to suspend you for a week or two, and threaten to throw you off the page if you do it again. Me, at least, I mean, the Big Six page, this page, is not the only page that I run. I run a page for the Brooklyn Cyclones. I run a page for the Mets. I run a page for Rockaway Beach. I do not put a limit on how many pictures somebody could post on the page. I don't do it. Because first of all, I'm a photographer, and I appreciate how many pictures people post. Or people post, I should say, on the pages. So I'm not going to complain about. Truly, you shouldn't overdo it. But I don't put a limit on it. And Adam puts a limit on it and keeps suspending me over it. Or he has suspended me over it. And then when I started posting stuff about the board election, when I was on his page, I think it was 2019 or 2020, I've seen people, or a friend of mine saw I was already off his page already, and a friend of mine showed me, who was on Alan's page, saw that people were posting, please vote for all the other candidates except for me. I was the only one that was not mentioned by anybody. And this is going to show you how popular I was at the time, and that I am now. That everybody refused. That nobody refused to say, "Please vote for Joe." Nobody posted that. So my friend says, "Okay, let's be fair. Let's put I'm going to put Joe's name on here, and see what happens." And because everybody else is not mentioned, except for every candidate was mentioned who ran last year, except for me on Alan's page. And this page too, everybody says, vote for Muhammad, vote for Jonathan, vote for I think Peter, forget that, or vote for Kevin Doyle, vote for this one, vote for that one. I was the only one not mentioned by anybody. I mean, come on, at least have some guts, people, and put my name down. I'm asking for your support. At least please put my name down. At least once. At least I could say to somebody in Big Six Towers that actually cares to fight for me and to put me on and try to fight for me and campaign for me. I will appreciate from anybody. But nobody took the time or trouble to do it, because they know, because of what happened with my friend, nobody's bothering to put my name down, because they were all, and because anybody who supported me would get into trouble for it. It's like supporting Donald Trump. Anybody who supported Donald Trump, they end up getting canceled. because they had the nerve to support Donald Trump. It's the same thing with me. I'm like the Donald Trump of Big Six Towers. No, if anybody had the nerve to support me, they got thrown off of Alan's page, or maybe even Cameron's page, if they said vote for Joe Gutfeld in the 2021 board election. You guys would get into trouble for it. But you should fight for it. I said, look, it's ridiculous that Joe's I'm the only candidate, right, who has gotten disrespected every single year, and gotten more disrespect at the candidates nights than Dorothy Comiskey had. When Dorothy Comiskey gets disrespected because she cusses everybody out, the only person that I ever cussed out, I didn't have a cuss out now one person at the candidates nights in the 3 years that we actually had an official candidates night. Well, actually we didn't have it because of the virus. It looks like this year is going to happen again. We're not going to have an official candidates night. But regardless, every year that I ran, I've gotten disrespected. The first year, I got blasted by someone who's going to remain nameless. I'm not going to name the person. Had about a 5-minute rant. After me, she stood up in front of the whole crowd at the first candidates night, blasting me. Didn't mention me by name, by the way. But it says that I curse everybody out as soon as I walk out the door of building 3. As soon as I walk out building 3 and start cursing everybody out, which is not true. I only cuss out Yankee fans, okay? There's the only people who deserve to get cussed out are Yankee fans. But regardless of that, but that's a Met fan Yankee fan thing. But other than that, I don't cuss everybody out as soon as I walk out the door. I mean, it's stupid. It's stupid and silly to accuse me of that. And since they do not deserve to serve on any board, so you have that. Then you have people. I'm not going to mention this woman's name because I know who she is. She lives in Building 6. Okay. She used to be married to a former board member. Obviously, she's not married to the guy now. She constantly posts on Facebook that I injured a stray cat, which is not true. And not only that, but in the same breath, I should say the same post. Can't say the same breath on a Facebook post, but in the same breath, she goes on and she claims that I have a developmental delay, that my sister has one, and possibly my father has a developmental delay. That's according to this person. Well, I got so angry and so ticked off that she made this post. I complained to I made a formal complaint to Facebook. Facebook took it down and suspended her account for, I don't know if it was 24 hours or however long it was. Suspended her account for not just for posting that, claiming that I had a developmental delay, but claiming that I injured a stray cat, which of course wasn't true. But somebody responded to that post and says, "Why don't you hire some guys that beat the shit out of Joe?" That's pretty much what was said. And I also made a complaint of supporting violence or possibly encouraging the person who wrote the initial post to hire a guy to beat the crap out of me. Alright, that's the person who you would rather believe. Alright, you rather believe this person who wrote that post over me, or the post that's been going around saying that I injured a stray cat, or injured animals. Now, of course, it's obviously, and I mentioned before in other videos they've done. Of course, it's not true, so I'm not going to rehash the whole stupid thing. That's that one post. But the other thing they want to mention is, of course, the Hellman family, which is the people that I will mention, The Hellman family, who of course lives in Building 5 and possibly in other buildings as well, have been going around for 7 years now. Can't believe it's been 7 years already. Going around for 7 years, and it's about at least 6-7 years, saying that I'm a pervert and a pedophile. Which, of course, is completely not true. I am not a pervert, I'm not a pedophile, I'm not into kids, and I'm not interested in a sexual way to children in Big Six Towers. That's not. And also, if you don't if you don't take my word for it, you can go to any sex offender website, or the official or the National Sex Offender Registry. My name is not there. And the reason why my name is not there is because I've never been charged with anything. I never even talked to the cops about anything. This thing came about because those of you who have not seen the other videos or the previous video I've done discussing this issue, what happened was I took a walk around the co-op, and I got to the playground between 6 and 7. It was the first day of summer vacation, first full day of summer vacation for the kids, and the whole playground was full of kids. One of the kids that's having to be playing in the playground was Jimmy Hellman's daughter. I didn't even know, because I couldn't tell which kid was who from the distance, because I happened to be foresighted, so I couldn't tell who's who and from the distance. And I took my camera, my regular digital camera out. I took a wide shot of the playground and went click. The girls, I'm going to leave the girl's name out of it, or Jimmy Hellman's daughter's name out of it. I'm going to leave her, I know what her name is, but I'm going to leave her out, her name out. Her aunt, I don't know if it's Jimmy's sister or sister-in-law, whatever, it doesn't make a difference, saw me take the picture. And she comes up the ramp that's closest to Building 6, by the nursery school. Comes up that ramp, or sidewalk, I should say. Walks up that sidewalk to where I was, which was on the 60th Street path, on the sidewalk. Confronts me about it and said, "Hey, delete the picture. I don't appreciate you taking pictures of the kids, yada yada yada." So I said, "Okay, to make you happy, delete the picture," which I did right in front of her. I wasn't hiding a thing. And so what she did was, despite the fact that I deleted the picture, right in front of her, she still complains to public safety about it. She wasn't going to get a cop, but instead of actually getting a cop, she went to public safety instead, and we filled out the whole report. And Jerry says to me, "Don't be surprised, Joe, if you get a visit from the cops about this." So the whole night, this was on Friday. The whole Friday night, I was waiting for the cops knocking on my door. They never came to my door. Saturday comes, same thing. They never showed up. Same thing on Sunday. So by Monday, I spoke to Jerry from Public Safety, and he told him the cops never came to my apartment and never knocked on my door. Nothing happened. And he says to me, "If they don't come up to your apartment by now, they're never going to show up." And I had to backtrack a bit, because when the report was being filled out, I showed technically what the law is, I'm not supposed to show public safety when I have on my camera, or the picture I took. But I showed them anyway, and I proved that the picture I took of the playground with the kids was not there anymore, because I deleted it. I'm the only one in the world who knows what that picture looks like. It wasn't anything sexual. It wasn't any. None of the kids was in swimsuits or naked or anything like that. It was just kids playing in the playground. So it wasn't anything sexual in nature. But the aunt of Jimmy's daughter, Jimmy Hellman's daughter, still had to get one last word in, even though it's proven. It looks like it proved to her that nothing was there. That nothing was there on the pictures, on my camera, I should say. She still called me a pervert and a pedophile, and I'm still getting crap from the Hellman family about it, because Jimmy's brother was on the page for a while, and he was still calling me because I did post an article for the New York Post for when Jimmy robbed the Queens County Bank here. I did post it from the New York Post app on my phone and transferred it to the page to say, hey, just to see if I could do it. I didn't mean any harm about it, but I just wanted to see if I could do it. And I did, and I immediately took it down. But I took it down after about like an hour or two. I took it down, and I got crap from Jimmy's brother, who I believe still lives here in Big Six, and he was calling me a pervert and a pedophile again. So I won't be surprised if he's going around with that. Now with the time I have, I know it's over almost 26 minutes for this video here. I'm going to go back to the main thing is that going after Mr. Geary and asking people, do not vote for this guy. I know you don't like me as the messenger on this, but you know what I'm saying here is I am not lying. And one thing I am not. I mean, you might find faults with everything I've done in regards to this page. You might not like how I run it. You might not like that I remove people from the page or suspended someone for a while. But one thing that I am not is a liar. I'm always upfront if I do something. And in regards to Howard, I am not lying a bit. Because if I lie over anything I've ever said about Howard, okay? And don't forget, I ain't been harassed by Howard Geary for 5 years now. Since 2016, I've been constantly under constant harassment from Howard Geary for 5 years now. And when we get to 2022, it's going to be 6 years since I've been constantly harassed by Howard. Every time when he's here, he always has to get, a jab into me. He's always making a threat towards me. Okay. And what's been going on now, at least in the last year, that's 2 years really. It's really disgusting how Howard Geary has been treating people in the last 2 years of his 3 year term that he's had since he got re-elected, put back on the board in 2018. And the 3 years he's been on this board has been like an epic disaster. First of all, and this is the God's honest truth here, folks. He screwed up royally in regards to the water bill. Because don't forget, that's about every year that Howard has been on this board. He's been on the board now 7 out of the last 8 years. And if you're elected to the board, I should say when you put him back on the board, because no doubt he's going to get re-elected, in my opinion. He's going to be on the board 10 out of the last 11 years. Don't you think it's enough? Didn't we have that crap with Rocky Solomon when he was on the board for like 30 years? He was on the board like 25 or 30 years until we threw him out of here because he was in cahoots with Richard Stone. And Richard Stone stole at least $30 million out of Big Six Towers. Now, I'm not accusing Howard of stealing anything, but he has screwed up with regard to the water bill. No question about it. Because what happened is, instead of looking over the water bill, ourselves, the board decided to have. I think it has something to do with our lease or something. That we have to have an outside agency to pay just the water bill. Why do we need this outside agency to pay the water bill for? That's the problem that I have. Why do we have to have this outside agency paying a water bill? There's no rhyme or reason to it, except I think it has to do something with our not a lease. It has to do with the CDC or something. I'm not exactly sure why we have to have this outside agency. That's for the water bill. But Howard's job as a treasurer is to overlook and not make sure we have the money in the big six accounts to pay the bills, but to also overlook everything, overlook all anything financial as a board treasurer. Unfortunately, Howard never overlooked the water bill because this other because the other company was taking care of it. Well, the other company didn't take care of it because they didn't notice that for 6 years we were being undercharged for the water bill. So, because what happened was that the DEP, which charges us for the water, for Big Six's water usage, didn't charge us for buildings 6 and 7 because they want a separate block than buildings 1 through 5. So they only charged us for buildings 1 through 5 and not buildings 6 and 7 because they didn't realize. I mean, how could they not realize that? The DEP, that is. And so it's it's like everybody's fault and nobody's fault. It was the DEP's fault for not realizing for 6 years that they were undercharging us. It was this outside company's fault, and the board's fault for hiring this outside company to begin with. So we had not one but 2 charges in relation to the water. We had a regular maintenance charge, and those of us, well, it depends on how big your apartment is, got different amounts. In my apartment alone, I'm getting charged at least $60 extra a month for 6 months to pay for the water bill. And board's lawyers knocked it down from 6 years to 2 years, which me personally, I feel that we should pay 0 extra for water. We shouldn't pay any water charge. And for 6 months to November of 2021, we're going to be charged $60 extra. Now, I live with my father, and my father's on Social Security, and he is having trouble spending the extra $60 a month for because of the water bill. Instead of spending the $60 a month for food, for clothing, or towards another bill, we had to give the $60 over to Big Six Towers because of Howard Gary screwing up with the water bill. So why should you vote or re-elect Howard Gary because of the water bill situation? Because he's royally screwed up as a board treasurer, and the board as a whole screwed up. But more specifically, Howard Gary screwed up because he's the treasurer. And unfortunately, the board is protecting this guy. And rather put the blame on the stupid outside agency instead of putting the blame on Howard. Howard should have been blamed just as much as the outside company has. And now we'll go to the big thing, which is of course the accusation, I should say, of Howard Gary allegedly sexually harassing a former assistant manager. Now, there's a major problem I have with this, and it has nothing to do with what I posted. The major problem is that the person who was doing the accusing refuses to come forward for some reason. Maybe she's embarrassed. Maybe she didn't want to get involved. They want to go through. You refuse to get refuse to go through with it because she knows she's going to get crapped on. Look at the women who are accusing Governor Cuomo right now. The 11 women who are accusing Governor Cuomo right now of sexual harassment. Look at all the crap they're getting. Okay? She's probably afraid of the same thing what happened to her. So that's probably why she's not coming forward. But regardless, I feel that she should have came forward and not go through me. I don't know why they went to me or came to me in the first place. I still have, to this day, I still have not spoken to the woman who's accusing Howard of sexually harassing her. To this day, she still has not come up to me at all. A relative of hers has, and through this relative, gave me permission to post what happened to her on this page. And at first, I was reluctant to do it because people are not going to, because I know those of you who have said they're not going to believe me because of my past history with Howard. And I don't blame any of you for thinking that or believing that. Of course, you notice I didn't get mad at any of you for making those types of comments, because I didn't blame you at all. I didn't get mad at any of you for making that point, because it is a legit point. Why come to me instead of taking up to talk to Douglas Elliman, or make a complaint with the board, or doing any of this stuff? I'm sure I'm hoping that she had in the past, and most likely her complaints would probably got ignored, like my complaints about Howard have been ignored over the last 5 years. I mean, it's not like it's been going on for 5 days, or 5 weeks, or 5 months, or 5 seconds. It's been going on for 5 years, and those of you, and the 2 other times that I ran against Howard for the board, he got more votes than I had, both times. And it's, you know, it's quite, like I said in the minute post, it's quite sad that you'd rather have a guy who not only who has been accused, I should say, of sexually harassing a former assistant manager, but also has harassed the maintenance staff, the rest of the management staff, and public safety. He's been harassing and pushing his way around and bullying everybody just to get his way against me. Just to make sure that I get punished for being alive, basically. Because he wants to punish me in every way possible, because they have the nerve to have a rapport with the maintenance staff that Howard unfortunately does not have. That's as simple as that. He's like jealous that I have this rapport with the workers here that he does not have. That's probably what it is. He's probably jealous of me. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know why he's obsessed with me the way he has been. But and I'm not excusing my behavior at all in the whole situation. I'm equally to blame than he has been in this whole situation. We both had it lousy. Okay? I agree with those of you who say that I'm equally responsible. I feel like I do feel like now I'm equally responsible. I admit that now. But it doesn't excuse the fact to punish me on the board elections by electing Howard Geary all the time. It's not right to, because this guy you're complaining about me for my demeanor. He does not have the demeanor to be on this board. I know it's almost 40 minutes now of this video, so I'm going to cut it out kind of short. But I'm asking you, do not vote for Howard Geary this year. Don't do it. Because those of you who vote for Howard, okay, you guys are enabling his behavior. It's like voting for Cuomo again for next year in 2022. Because if you re-elect Governor Cuomo, you're encouraging his behavior. You're promoting his behavior, saying that it's okay to sexually harass women. It's okay to put elderly people or sick elderly people who have the coronavirus into nursing homes. Same thing with Howard. It's okay if you re-elect Howard Geary to this board. You are encouraging him to continue to sexually harass the female staff in the management office, to constantly harass the other workers of Big Six Towers, including maintenance, including public safety, and whoever else works here. And also, you're encouraging his behavior towards me, towards myself, my family, and all the other people who don't like, who have other personal beefs with Howard. You're encouraging that. You're like encouraging that behavior. That's okay. And Howard, it's like saying, hey Howard, it's okay to harass Joe because we don't like him either. Doesn't make it right, folks. Does not make it right at all. So I want to thank all of you for, I know this video is a little long. I want to thank all of you for watching this video, and maybe some other time I do another video and about the Howard situation. I don't know. I feel they should do one today. And I do encourage you to vote for in the board election. Just don't vote for Howard Geary, because the man is not worth it. He does not deserve to be serving on the board anymore, because he already served 7 years on our board. And if you're reluctant is going to be on the board 10 out of the last 11 years, it's enough. I mean, people complain about Jerry Lamine being on the board too long. The team of Howard Geary and Kevin Doyle, they've been ruling this place for 10 years. At least 10 years. It's enough. It's enough of these two guys. It's time for someone else to be on top of the mountain, and one of them is me. Okay? Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.